Good morning, folks. This is Corey from the Marks Group doing our monthly tips and tricks for Salesforce. We do these monthly, do about third or fourth Tuesday of every month, about a few weeks, 3 to 4 weeks after the posts or the new blog posts go up. So I will be, because of the holiday weekend, we'll be doing it a little bit later this week, but hopefully in the middle of this week, mid to the end, I will have 3 new tips up this week. And then end of June, we'll go over them as well. So those of you watching this video afterwards, just to give you perspective, Memorial Day weekend, we're looking at end of May, early June. Can't believe we're there already this time of year. But today we're just going to go over a few things, one of which is two-factor authentication. The other is giving, it's the Gmail setup, the Lightning for Gmail, okay? And then the other one is charts within Lightning itself. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, first thing is I just want to kind of go over this two-factor authentication. And the reason why this kind of came out, this is more of a discussion. It's not really a tip. It's just more of a discussion about two-factor. How does it work? What does it look like? Is it right for me? That type of thing. And this came up because I was dealing with a client that wanted to have two-factor authentication. Now, we all know it as when I change my browser to a new machine or something like that, I will get a text message that says from Salesforce saying, here's your verification code, need you to log in here, and then we get the cookies stored. So that is kind of that baseline two-factor authentication. I don't know if we're actually calling it that, but it's that initial login and cookies saving and all that. I know that some people have messed around with it a little bit and gone, like when they do a new incognito tab, like you can do that inside of Chrome, where you can make a new let's see, where is it? It will do a new tab, and you can go incognito and all that, and that's fine. And because basically cookies aren't being stored, and I think that some people can make that work, that you will be prompted every time. However, that's not what we're talking about. What I'm talking about here is actually truly the two-factor authentication, which is stored when I look at it. It's actually in the profile area. Right, so if I go here and I look for profile, I was doing a search earlier on two-factor and you can't find it. So you have to actually go to your profiles, and let me make sure, I'm just seeing if you've caught up here. If I do profiles here, what I can do is just look at my contract manager. Okay, in here, let's see if I can find it. System permissions. So I go into here. You're going to find that there's this two-factor authentication. It's a little further down, obviously alphabetically, and it will go to two-factor authentication, right? And basically what we're talking about here is the idea that I want another item to be involved so I can authenticate. Facebook users know as like a third-party authentication app. Like sometimes you have an app on your phone that's just, I know it might log me in. I used to have a log me in authenticator on my phone, and it would, as I get there, I'd have to generate something on my phone, and it would connect with the server, and there's my new code, and that code changes every minute or two. That's what this is. It's requiring the mobile authenticator app. They don't have one. You have to get one of your own, and then you can connect it to it or say, this is what my codes are, right? So based on their recommendations, I don't know if they tell you about it here, but there are, these third-party authenticator apps that you can download, install, and connect to here. Or there's actually people who have connected their own little key fobs and things along those lines. I know back in the old days of server authentication, I actually had to connect, and I had a key fob that the number changed every minute. That minute is where we get the new number, and that's what we're looking at over here. In the case of the client I'm talking about, that really wouldn't work either. They wanted kind of a happy medium. They just wanted to be texted every time they logged in their system. The reason it's a discussion is, I don't know, is that too much? I mean, are your users going to start to get really, really annoyed because they're getting texted every 5 minutes? I don't know. it's something you kind of have to go through. Is there's a happy medium between not being secure enough and being overly secure. And you got to think about as well as what kind of data is in your system, right? Is there a reason? I mean, are we afraid that people are sharing their passwords? Are they using machines that are not in the office? Are there other things that we can do to lock it down, like IP authentication, which are other security measures? So, like I said, it's not really a tip, but more of a conversation as to what is too much, what's too little. You know, and you have to just kind of keep that in mind, right? So that's where we're at. Okay. So anyway, here endeth the discussion. I just want to kind of go here. Now I'm going to go into my charts and start to have some more fun with this type of stuff and go from there. All right, so the next one that we want to talk about is doing the report charts, okay? I've actually already did this to show what it looked like, but you can see that I've actually got here, I've got a chart in my homepage right here. It's just based on a report that I have. And it allows me to see a lot of different items inside my homepage. I've already got my today's events. I've got my today's tasks. This is all part of Corey's migration to Lightning, okay? I need my homepage to show me stuff I need, and that out-of-the-box homepage just doesn't, right? But I like seeing these reports, and that's fine. I like seeing my recent records. I like seeing my recent items, which is a little bit different than my recent records. As you can see, I've got a few things here, and then I've got these others here that's the whole, you know, the actual people in my recent items. So I've got my open leads. I've got today's task. Again, I hate this because I'd rather see all my overdue stuff, right? And there's my overdue tasks and where they are. And I can do view calendar. If I go here, here's my calendar, and that's fine, right? And I've got this. That's all good. Okay, but I wanted this chart. So we're going to add another chart just for the heck of it and kind of go from there, right? So now let me just catch up on my side here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a page, okay? I'm going to add this chart. Easiest way to do it is we go here, we go to edit page, okay? I go to edit page, we get to our normal layout, and in here, I can actually sit there and say, all right, what do I want to move in? And so I do have my report charts, so I can bring in a report chart, just drag it in, let it go, and there's my report. Now, what you will not find, okay, if I do this, look at my report charts that I have. Sample report, products by code, leads by product. I do not have my closed activities past 7. I mean, I don't have any others than this. I have more report charts. I can tell you that right now, okay? Prove it to you because I'm going to go back and leave this, right? And so what I've done is if I go to my reports area, okay, and I've got my closed activities, I can do leads by product, for instance, right? Well, that has a chart, but it wasn't in there, right? Or was it? Hold on. We're going to do it again. Edit page. I just click on my existing report, see what we get. If I do that, there's leads by product, product by code. So I do have leads by product. So we're going to make another one. So I've got products, leads, and sample report. Okay. We got to remember reports here, sample, closed activities, products by code, leads by product, goldmine contacts, sample report. You go created by me, you see all these things here, activity aging, closed activities past 7, right? These are all my different leads by month, which I could do this here if I wanted to, okay? There's leads by product, which we already had. Open activities next 7 days. We'll just do this one, okay? So what happens is in here, and it's a nice chart, okay? What happens is that if you've been using Classic, and I actually write this in there in my blog post, is that I'm really short on what reports I can use because they're in Classic, right? So all I have to do is, let's see, so I have to edit the report. Single report, blah, 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 single, yeah. So what I have to do is I have to edit the report, okay? If I edit it like this, okay? Now, all I really have to do is save it again, okay? And then it will be fine, right? That's what I did last month when I was writing this. And I just close it out and I say save and close, right? Now, if I go back and I go back to my home page and I edit this page, okay? And if I go into my report area here, now I should, I did not see it. Hold on. Okay, hold on one second. So I go to here, I've got my reports area. I'm gonna look at the report I want, okay? What I did was I'm just gonna edit this guy, open activities. I'm gonna change something just to edit the guy here, okay? We're just gonna make a small change to it, like assigned, and then I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna say like all of my activities, okay? Now let's do that and then we'll save it. We'll close it out and do a save and close. And then we're going to go back to the home page, edit this out, and then go from there. And I'm not seeing it still. Okay, so if I actually read my tip correctly, you'll actually notice exactly what I did wrong. So what it is, if you've noticed in my reports, right? If I look at the open closed activities right here is what? See that? That's the kicker. This one is not. And so what I have to do is and here's the big note. I actually said, here's the kicker in my tip. I'm trying to do this at the same time, folks. If I do edit here and I do report properties, I'm going to put it in my public reports, okay? Unfiled public. I mean, if I have another public folder, that's fine too. Now I'm going to close this, save and close. Now it's public. So now if I go back to my home page, and I go ahead and edit my page. And we go into here, I click on this guy, I can change this around, and there it is, my open activities next 7 days. Whew, finally, huh? So if I do this here, what I'm gonna actually do though is I'm gonna make a new one. So I'm gonna bring in this report chart here and put it in there. And now I'm gonna change this. By default, it's gonna grab the last one. I don't know why, but I'm gonna change this here, say open activities, okay? I can do filter by, if I want to have a filter. Let me just run this first, see what it does. It's loading it. Okay. How do you cache it? What do you want to do? Do you want the refresh button? Yeah, let's do that so someone can force the refresh. That's fine. Again, we can always do add filter on the component visibility, which is what I've done before. There was an earlier video on this last month talking about component visibility, which is very, very helpful. And so there's my next 7 days. Now, what can I filter by? I mean, if I go here, it's, it's got to have filtering in the options themselves. Here it says filtering is only supported on record pages. So it's going to be a little bit different item here is what we're talking about. Okay, I might have to look into that maybe next month. So here's this report, and I can say show refresh button. Here's this one here. Again, you can even see it. I say save, right? Go back on my home page. Now I've got 2 charts. There's my different activities, events, and tasks. My refresh button if I want to see it. And again, view report. This is blows open and there's my whole report. So it's kind of nice that way that you can have this whole dashboard launching page now, whereas before on your home page in Classic, you were limited to 3 different charts. Now I could really set it up to do 3 columns. I could do multiples. There's a lot of stuff you can do now with this charting. And it's a good one, okay? So that is that for that, okay? So now, next piece. So that's charting, basically, is what we're talking about, okay? Last one we're going to talk about is the Gmail, okay? So what I had to do is I actually have Gmail in ours, right? So if I do this is our Gmail, right? We actually have Gmail as our backend, which is great, okay? Because of that, I can load in this nice little Salesforce piece here. Okay, I'm going to shrink it for right now so you don't see it, but it's over there. Essentially, what I have to do is you have to kind of set this up. It's not that difficult to do. I mean, mine was really easy. It was just it was a matter of getting this and learning how to use it as kind of the big piece. I truly don't dig Gmail that much. I hate to say it, but I'm still an Outlook guy. So therefore, my Outlook is, I've got Salesforce connected in that way. I actually use a third-party product called LinkPoint 360. I find it to be great. Reason I love it is because I can drag signatures and make leads and contact records, and I can do things all from Outlook. I can assign tasks and activities. There's a lot of extra features that come that the add-on doesn't have. Sure, the Salesforce folks wouldn't like me saying it, but I do like that other product. So what I have to do here is, if I was a Gmail lover, the actual Chrome client, we can do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the setup page, okay, as usual, where we always end up, right? Okay, and we're going to search for Gmail. Okay, and all we get is Lightning for Gmail and sync. Okay, now today I'm not talking about syncing. Okay, all I'm talking about is Gmail itself. The sync is something that I have my own product that syncs, so I really don't want to kind of get that going right now. I don't want to confuse items. But the synchronization would be the way that you would kind of link your calendars back and forth. Could be very useful. Today we're just going to talk about the Gmail. Okay, so if what you end up doing is actually clicking in to this item here, okay, and by doing this, like if I was to disable it, you get it this way. I click this in here and then it opens up, and you can see now it opens up a few other items. Okay, enable enhanced email for Lightning with Gmail. That's the thing that what I would do is do this. Okay, so you're allowing the add-in to exist within Gmail itself. Okay, I didn't do app builder, and I didn't do any other extra layouts. There's publisher layout. I don't even have this stuff. I don't even know what this is doing here. I'm assuming it has something to do with, I didn't even go here, but let's say we just say save this. I mean, you're looking at what's the layout, I guess. This is an Outlook configuration, so it allows you to kind of put, some buttons, but this is totally different, okay, than what we're talking about today. So once you enable this, you get this ability to enable this piece, and that's all you really have to do, okay? After that, you will have to, that's all you have to do in Salesforce, okay? What you have to do after that, though, is you have to get this link. Like, you have to have access to this, because when you click this, right, it opens up to the Chrome store is what it does, like in Chrome, right? And what it does is allow you to add in, and see, I've already got mine added. Otherwise, this would say add to Chrome, and it's blue. Mine is green because I've already got it, right? So once you do that, and then you start up your items, okay, now what you're looking at is to have a lot more information, okay? You have to be able to say, now this piece, when I'm in my Gmail, this is over here. There is a prompt to give it access, okay? It will prompt you to say, give Salesforce access to Google. It's an image on the blog post. Actually says what you have to do. But once you do that, now what you're looking at is these items over here. So if I look at Jana's email, for instance, right, and she's talking about her server, right away it tells me who it is, okay? And I've got this information. It's for this customer, okay? It's for Jana as the contact. Are there any tasks available? Nothing there. That's just for today. But if I go back to that and I look for Jana, I can do this. Now, when I can relate the email, so by default, I can just click this button, and by doing this, boom, okay, now the email is linked. It's truncated for size. That's fine because it's pretty big. I'm gonna short. I'm loving it. Later, okay, and it did actually do attachments as well. Okay, this one here, it will say, like, I'm doing a mouse over, so show this record. Okay, This one would be any notifications I have, but this is show this record. This would be add this record or create a record, okay? So if I go back to my inbox and I'm looking at Brian, for instance, okay, I could, as you can see, I can add him or add Colin. Now these people are there. So what I could do is I could actually search for CoArc, okay, and there's CoArc right there, and I could relate this email to all the people. I could relate this to CoArc if I wanted to, right? Which is the thing that is kind of important to me. And let's see if that actually works. So I'm going to upload this, right? And now what I'm going to do is we're going to go look to see, we're going to go look for CoArc, okay? And based on that, I should see that email, okay? So this one here is, hi Corey, I went to get this morning, can I find a backup? That was her email there. The other item, and there's Brian's email right there, says a move to 365. So what's important about that is this email was from Brian, it was about CoArc, but no one in the CoArc account is actually this client of ours. No one is actually listed on this email, so it wasn't smart enough to know who do I link it to. I did search, did that there, now I've got it linked. Okay, and I can uncheck this to remove it. So that's all fine. But then what it does is it puts it in there. How did it do it in order? Well, I think Brian's was before Jana's, so that's why his would appear earlier, and that's why you see his email here. Okay, and if I scroll up, then I can see her as well, right? So this is a way to get your emails linked in. You can't automatically do it yet. I know that there's certain things. Here's my attachments as well that you can do. I don't need to do that. I can remove that. That's fine. So that's a nice way to clean that up, right? Some nice functionality in here is what it is. Here's my boss, Gene. Is he in there? There's a couple clients, right? Neil, Robert, they were in there as well. Gene wants to talk to me on Friday. I've got nothing, but I could add him if I wanted to add him to Salesforce. Okay, so very functional, very nicely done. It's a nice add-on piece. I recommend it if you are using this email center. It's a definite must. You have to do it. Okay, and if you're not linking your emails or give your users the ability to link emails from their email client into Salesforce, into your CRM system, you're missing out on a lot of communication. Okay, this is a great way of doing it. Not real hard, couple of clicks, they linked an email, now it's public for all, right? And that's that. So as always, I'll leave you today with my email address, Corey@marksgroup.net, Corey@marksgroup.net. I can be reached at any time. Got any questions, please let me know. Other than that, hope to see you next month. And like I said, we will have the next set of tips coming up very, very soon. Okay, thanks folks, have a great one. We'll talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye now.